Many thanks for joining us again. And in case you're just joining us, you're still watching The Press, reaching you live from the nation's capital in Abuja. Before we went on the break, we did the first half, which is we took the newspaper headlines, we reviewed some of the headlines, and now we are to the analysis proper. And we've been joined by our in-house analyst. His name is Ogunleke Samuel. Dokita, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, and Happy New Year.
Oh, indeed. Happy New Year.
This is 2024
Indeed.
Anyway, and, you know, a lot of decisions, a lot of comments, a lot of people have actually taken in another...
But what's the major highlight for you in the new year? You know, it's last year came, it seemed as though it was going to take for long, and everything just went so like easy. Not easy though, you know, it came with a lot of new policies that were difficult on Nigerians, but the way the time flew, you get, and it just wound down. And here we are, 2024 again. So what's the major take home for you for the January 2024 as we begin?
It's actually just to do what you want to do at the right time. Make sure you give yourself a target and work towards it. Forget about the noise in the market. Whatever you want to buy, face your customer, face your buyer, your seller, buy whatever you want to buy and go off the market, because without that, I'm very sure a lot of people will still be looking at the noise of the market, looking at the this, that, federal government has not done this, state government you are expecting, and before you open your eyes,
it's gone.
The year is gone already, because today is second.
I'm telling you,
no matter what, you know, we now have three. I think this year is actually a leap year.
Yes.
366 minus 2, we have 364 left. So.
Well, for January, I think like for last year, one major thing I see people complaining about is that of procrastination, not doing things at the right time, and at the end of the day, you're like, God, it's December already. I remember someone said, I have to start saving in November. You didn't start saving in January.
That's just it.
Well, last year was kind of a bit harsh on many Nigerians, so you would not really blame them. But we hope that this year is better, with the president's speech kind of giving hope to Nigerians, reassuring.
Renew hope.
The hope keeps renewing. So he reassured Nigerians of his mandate to secure, protect, and the likes. One of his most major highlights for me for his speech or takeaways was the speedy delivery of Siemens Energy Power Project, ensure constant food supply, security, and affordability, ensure all the fiscal and tax policies reforms are coordinated or codified and simplified to ensure the business environment does not destroy value, implement a new national living wage for Nigerian workers, non-performing ministers and heads of agencies. We go in first quarter. So many takeaways. You watched it, you listened to it. So what do you make out of it?
Well, if you actually see what the president actually said this year, it's actually a renewed hope speech. For those that listen to it and for those that actually read it, and I want to believe that it's not going to be a political speech alone, that we just have the speech. It's not going to be a horse in the paper that could not even move. So that's what I believe, because with all his analysis yesterday, I think if he could actually go by this speech, believe me sincerely, we're going to have a better Nigeria in 2024. But the fact is, I proposed something last year. I said, what we need to do now is that I didn't even say every month, I said every year we should be having ministers giving the accounts of whatsoever they might have done from January to December, and Nigerians should be able to rate them. It's going to be, it should be a kind of conference, a kind of avenue that is going to be dedicated, at least like 2 days, going to be dedicated. Each minister will be coming and be telling us, okay, this is what I've done, this is what I've done, this is the reasons why we actually, these are the reasons why we did this, and Nigerians will actually assess them based on what they've done, based on what they see. You could actually tell them that you've done this and will not see any impact of what you've said, what you said you've done. Like I remember last year, some people were actually saying, our honorable had done this, our honorable had done this, and the honorable did nothing. So I think with that, with what the president said yesterday about ministers giving the account of whatever they have done in 3 months or whatever, I think it's actually going to be the best way to go, so that, and the ministers will know that, okay, I need to do something, at least to give account of something at the end of this month.
Okay, so, I know you're talking about accountability, but let's talk about assessing the president, assessment of the president's speech. His speech has come with a lot of attacks, criticism and the likes. Well, there is nothing that doesn't go down without criticism.
Of course.
However, do you think that this his broadcast reflects the sufferings or the ongoing happenings of the country, especially, first of all, before that was last year, before Christmas, we had the killings in Plateau State, and then with the whole hardship and the likes, without the president even talking about it, and before his speech, I think on Sunday night there was the attack in Plateau State. So do you think, in your own way, that it gets?
I think we should actually give it to President Tinubu, because though there's something I personally said he should have done that he didn't do. That's visiting the community. You don't send delegates to such occurrence. Are you getting it? But that's number one thing. So he should actually reconstruct his way and make his way proper as touches that, especially security. But when you check what he said as in that broadcast, believe me sincerely, there, as you've said, there is no broadcast, there is no speech, there's nothing you do that people will not criticize. That's just it. But as for me, I think what he said actually reflects what people are going through. Just that words cannot explain actions sometimes, many times. And you know, when you are not in their shoe, you don't really feel the pain. So it's only what people tell you, what your advisors, your ministers, your cabinet tells you, that you feel what's going on, you feel about what's going on. So I think with what he said, unless we actually want to be deceiving ourselves, it actually reflects just that, and the aspect of
without
security.
Specifically highlighting Plateau State.
That's where I'm now coming on. But when you are talking about security, that you cannot even in that broadcast, when you talk about what people are going through, security is actually the major. But apart from security that he omitted, which is the major thing he ought to have actually talked about, I think I don't know why, and I don't know, maybe you know, government could actually be. I'm not a defender of Tinubu, and I would never be a defender of Tinubu.
It's okay if you are a defender if he's doing the right thing, right?
So if he's doing the right thing, but on this aspect, I don't know, and we don't know what the securities are doing on the ground. You know, they came at the chief of Army staff came out and said that this time they cannot be announcing all their steps. And
even the president made it known in his speech that they've been doing a lot of things underneath, so in terms of security. However, while things are said to be being done behind the scene, behind the scene, shouldn't we see some sort of evidence, empathy? Aside from empathy, we know about the commiseration which Shettima had done, the vice president. So it could also be said that it's the presidency because he was designated to do it. However, shouldn't we see, because the president highlighted in his broadcast yesterday that a lot has been done behind the scene to ensure security. because if you are dealing with intelligence, it shouldn't really be made known to the public. But shouldn't we see some sort of like perhaps an evidence that should go out to the public, that things like some sort of reduction in the crime, sort of reduction in insecurity, that we don't get to see the continuous massacre, the same repeated pattern. Especially in the north.
I actually want to say this, that for me and to me, I have not seen specifically what this government is doing as touches security. I will not lie to you, and I would not lie to myself. I have not seen specifically what they are doing as touches security, but the facts still remain that them telling us, one of the worst scenario is the fact that these bandits, these Boko Haram or these terrorists,
they've been 10 terrorists.
Terrorists. Apart from that, they actually gave another notice. That's the height of it all. They gave notice, we are coming. And the first day, the day they actually said they were coming, they did not. And the second day they came and they still did. They performed their operation. The operation went successfully. So with that, so that means, to me, you've not been doing anything, because obviously that town, that village should be well equipped, secured, because of that notice. Even if at all it's okay, you've not been knowing, you were not briefed of their first attack. You didn't know. It was a shock to you. But this second one, what happened? And even after that, there is no way you will tell me as a security agent that such will happen, such massacre will happen, and you will not even apprehend a single person.
Indeed.
Just imagine. So with that, that's why I said this government, as touches security, I've not seen anything. If you are working behind the scene, then what you are doing behind the scene should be reflecting on the screen. So if we are not seeing any result of what you are doing behind the scene, that means you've not been doing anything. So to me, Tinubu is security-wise from May 29 till this 2nd of January 2024, May 29, 2023. Security-wise, I think I'll just give him 10 over 100.
Okay, yesterday we had a guest in the studio who made some dire statements as to the whole crisis or massacre in Plateau State, and he made mention that this could be actually political rather than even religious or whatever. And based on his explanation, perhaps there seems to be like a complacence between political maybe agents or politicians and the likes of it. What do you make out of it?
Well, to me, all I see there is these actions are backed by politicians. That is the fact for me. The actions of these terrorists are backed by political gladiators. That's the fact. Then number two is these actions of these terrorists have insiders that are actually telling them what to do. That's number two. Then number three, if one or two or three or more of the security agents, chief of the security agents, are not involved in these plans, believe me sincerely, it wouldn't have gone so worst to this extent. So these three keys plays its role. Another thing is, I cannot actually particularly say it's actually a kind of political scenario that is actually playing. No. But I could actually see very well that there is a particular thing in North that this government, I'm not talking about present government, governments generally don't want us to know. Especially when it comes to mineral resources. Look at Sambisa Forest. What is happening there till now? And when you check online, you will not see all these things. And I know very sure if there is nothing they are protecting, if there is nothing they are agitating for, if there is nothing they are shedding shades on, it shouldn't be as worse as this. We have other regions. So I am not saying it's actually majorly political, but I am telling you that it's actually backed by the fact that there is something hidden in North that politicians, government didn't want us to know, and they want to protect it by using insecurity, because people are actually eating. Some people are eating from this insecurity, and that is why they don't want it to end, because there is no way insecurity will continue rampaging the whole region like this. And you'll be telling me that our security agents, that is actually the best as far as Africa is concerned, could not tame it. So they can, I know they can, but the actors are actually beyond, so-called beyond the law. The actors are so-called. In this same note, we have past presidents, don't forget. And even talk about Niger, that we have two head of states. We're having issues there. Now Plateau. Now look at what happened in Jos. When they were fighting, when there was crisis like that, then despite the crisis, you will see that people come out, fight against what they do not want. They didn't want. But this case is actually different. You are telling people not to defend themselves, and yet you are not providing the security.
Before we go into defense, because I have a story on that. Now, I was in a briefing of the NDA recently, and they made mention of the role of intelligence.
Yeah.
Like many would not want to even give information, and the NDA had to like call for people to give information when it is needed, when it's necessary. You made mention about people not coming out to even voice or say anything about it. What do you think is the problem?
How do you want people to come out when these same people do not trust their government? Many people have lost trust in this government, this governor, this president, and even the past governments. The fact still remains that, okay, what happened to those that gave information before, in the past? So if those that have given information in the past were not saved, they gave the information today, the following week, they attacked them, and nothing was done. Do you think another person will come? No. If you cannot give us assurance of defending those that are giving information, people will prefer to give information to the terrorists than to give information, because they know very sure that they were more safer giving information to the terrorists than giving information to our security agents. What about somebody? What was a particular happening in particular states? There was armed robbery, and the guy was just like, okay, I knew someone, I saw his face, and he went to the police station. I saw his face, and he showed them what, as in the picture. He showed them and believe me sincerely, we could not even find the whereabouts of the guy now. So tell me how same person, if peradventure he escaped this, how he is going to give another information? It's not going to happen. So what we are having is people have been tamed. People that they're supposed to go and report to are actually the one itching them. So if it's like you are reporting your calamity to your enemy. So with that,
used against you.
so if there is a particular movie I'm actually watching now, that if you actually watch that movie, I will not actually you know the movie. So you have seen it, and we're actually still
the same line.
Are you getting it? So the person you think is actually your defender is your problem. Are you reporting to that person? So until security agents build trust themselves, there is no way, because to be sincere, they really need this information. Yes, they really. This same thing is happening in Abuja. It happened in Abuja last 5 days, 6 days, 7 days of 2023. Here in Buhari, did anybody hear of it? Was it published in the news? And if not for God, even the king will have been killed. If not for the fact that the king defended himself. So, and people are not talking. Even if newspaper review, even news agencies refuse to write it, people should talk. When you talk, we know what is happening. So I think the only thing is when people talk and they see their face. I did one report last month of 2023, I was asking people, okay, what do you want president to do? What do you want? People cannot talk. People said, you're okay. You want me to talk now? You want me to talk now? And they will say, I'm the one telling the whole world that president is not doing well.
Some people talk and hide their names.
Hide their names!
And not city and the likes. So, and these informations are really, really important.
Even for us. Yes. Even for
I've had to approach a couple of people, even those who are not perhaps not a layman on the street, people who are intelligent and of course know their onions, and like, no, I do not want to talk about it.
And do you know why? Do you know why? Many of these, I'm not saying every one of them. Okay, let me say 40% of these people are actually player in politics. And you know, because they are actually siding a particular person, they are actually supporting a particular person, they believe that if they speak against this government, and people believe that because they are civil servants, they don't have rights to talk.
Well, because there's nothing you're going to keep supporting.
I don't know. Where's that written in our constitution that because you're a civil servant, you don't have rights to talk? Where? So people believe that because they are civil servants.
It's code of ethics, actually. All right. I'd love to ask, because we've been going round this insecurity of a thing from different governments, and President Buhari, Goodluck Jonathan. And here we are in
Tinubu's.
Yes, as I said, in various the governments will be going through talks of insecurity. Do you think this present administration has what it takes to fight insecurity?
I want to tell you categorically that a president that chose civilian as NSA, it's not a serious person that wants to actually really tackle the security. That's just the fact. Because even when those that knew more, that actually knows more about the security were there, we knew what we faced. Not to talk about a civilian. Though the civilian may be intelligent, the civilian, but you cannot compare somebody that has gone, that has faced war, that knew what is going on in the bush, that knew what is going, that knew the tactics, with someone that actually read it in book.
Okay, let me hold your thoughts there. We have a caller in the house. Good morning, and Zion. Thanks for joining us on the show, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you very well.
And the Christmas.
Indeed, beautiful.
I just want to thank you people and thank God who led us into the new year. Despite the difficulties and temptations and hassles of the last year, please God to take us the new year in His grace. Please sustain my greetings, my good wishes to all the staff, the men leaders of the place, all the mercy, confidence, and Hassan, George, every other people. May God grant you people everything you desire in 2024.
Amen.
Protect your children, protect your job, give you security, give you faith in Christ, stronger than that of 23.
Amen.
To worship and serve God in truth and in righteousness. And the blessing of God in 2024 will be yours.
Amen.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Elder Zion, pouring hearts of blessings to us. Ardent follower, he had to spell our names out individually. Thank you so much. And this is also a reminder that if you want to be part of this program, to tell us your opinion as to what we're discussing, you can call us via the phone lines that will be displayed on your screen. So you were
I actually want to correct something. I actually want to talk about say ministers instead of NSA. I think the ministers of defense. You know, like now, Tinubu should sit these people down, sit them, have a roundtable talk, give them time, specific time. If this thing is not covered within so period of time, if you cannot actually get the people that attack so please within specific period of time, then you should be taken in for it. Are you getting with that? Even if they were insiders, giving those people, you see that the ministers, the NSA, and every one of them will actually tight their belts and they want to perform better. And I think with that, we could actually get a better security in this country.
Indeed. One other thing that is being talked about currently is that of owning arms yourself for defense. Because I have a story here which says group slams scores on why Nigerians can bear arms. I think Afenifere is saying that Nigerians have the right to defend themselves. Nigeria should be allowed arms to defend themselves, and says embargo amounts to conspiracy against the people. What do you make out of it? Although I know that the Christian Association of Nigeria has said that if we allow Nigerians to bear arms, it's a receipt for disaster.
It could actually resort to anarchy.
But then the killings continue.
The question is this: are Nigerians not the right people? Are the wrong Nigerians? I mean, terrorists. You know, we have a lot of them that are Nigerians anyway. So are they not bearing arms? People that you instructed to drop their guns, people that have the right to gun, and they actually dropped them at your doorstep, and what's happened to them after dropping these arms? So I think now, federal government, I am not saying, and I'm not going to say federal government should actually legalize using of arms, because it could actually lead to, but we're actually coming to a stage that every house we need to have a gun. Every house will need to have, like what I said, the example I made. I was briefed that even not for the fact that the king had gun, would have been either killed or kidnapped. So tell me. So let's assume each house, as in every house, has their at least one or two. So at least, but the fact is, that's a way of the digression. I think it is solely the business of the government to defend us, to protect, and that is the first function, the first responsibility. So if the government now failed to do that, then you are actually leaving a space for the citizens to actually defend themselves in this situation. So if we are to defend ourselves, that means we need to equip ourselves.
Yes.
So I think I will not buy the idea of we defending ourselves, because believe me sincerely, in that aspect, even if it is legalized, we are not going to be the one. Common Nigerians are not going to be the one that will actually get these guns. It will still be much in the hands of the terrorists that we say we want to defend ourselves against. So it is actually better to beg and to appease the president and his cabinet, and even the state governments. Yes, the state governments, the local governments, to please fight for us. Do function the way they ought to be functioning. So if they do, then we will not have any reason to bear arms. We will not have any reason to be defending ourselves. I heard of a particular community saying that, they need to be a watchman themselves.
Well, we have vigilantes.
Apart from even vigilante, a lot of guys, as in the male, as in the men, able men who actually come out at night. They will be watching while their wives and children are sleeping. So it's actually annoying.
Indeed.
It's annoying, seriously.
Indeed, it's annoying. So we hope that the right thing is done, and it's done fast, so to assure our lives are actually safe. Indeed, security is very important.
And if FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, is not safe, so where do you think will be safe in the country? If we are not safe in the Federal Capital Territory, the seat of the government, the seat of every parastatals. So if we are not safe here, this is where we have headquarters of all security agencies.
Indeed.
This is where we have National Assembly, House of Representatives and Senators. This is where we have ministers. This is where we have head of all ministries. And yes.
All right. You've said a lot about the insecurity. However, before we go, I'd like us to touch on one major story and has made the polity, which is the Nigerian Senate has passed the President Bola Tinubu has signed the 2024 appropriation bill totaling 28.77 trillion naira after it was read the third time. Now, the bill was passed by the Senate after also considering approving the report of the Joint Committee on Appropriation on Saturday, indicates an increase by over 1.2 trillion naira from the 27.5 trillion naira appropriation which President Bola Tinubu laid before the joint sitting of the National Assembly on November 29. In summary, the Senate approved a bill for an act to authorize the issuance for the Consolidated Revenue Fund an aggregate expenditure of 28.777, which includes 1.7 trillion naira for statutory transfer, 8.76 trillion naira for recurrent expenditure, 9.99 trillion naira for capital expenditure, and 8.27 trillion naira for debt service. The gross domestic product was set at 3.88%. Well, what do you make of the signing and passing of the budget?
Number one thing is on the aspect of the Senate and the House of Representatives, I commend their efforts for the fast and speedy approved of the budget. At the same time, they added their own.
Okay, so that was what I was going to talk about, because the addition of 1.1
trillion naira. Yeah. The question is, are you the executive? That's the first question I asked.
Okay, so the defense that came for that is, they said that there's an increase in, of course, the dollar rate, and for it's said feeding, school feeding. Yes, I think, and then for
the school feeding that got up to 100 billion naira. Yes, but the fact is this: it's a slap on the executive if their projections are not even accurate. It's a slap on them. So you've actually, the Senate had actually gave a slap to the executive by adding that 1.2 trillion. That's number one. But number two, when you check the capital, the capital project side, I want to commend this executive, because to this budget now we now have capital project expenditure greater than recurrent expenditure. Almost 10 trillion naira compared to close to 9 trillion naira. That is, I think, 8.7 to 9.9. So I want to commend them, because now we should expect more capital project. And capital project brings development. Yes. That's what people don't know. So if you are saying, because we want to pay this, want to pay that, so we leave aside capital project, that means we are still going to be in that same point that we were before. So for now, we expect more capital projects that will bring development and in turn impacts people's life in this country. Then another thing is debt. Our debts, I think, you know, having the fact that we have we don't have up to half, even not even up to, I think, 1/4 of what we want to spend, that we want to go and borrow, and part of it will be through ways and means, before we go to external. So I want to still commend the president, if and only, don't forget that we still have the supplementary budget of 2023 going concurrently with the 2024 budget now. So I think with this we will be able to get ourselves on the track. Peradventure, Port Harcourt refinery is actually working as they've said it's going to, because I saw a news this morning that NNPC is telling us that it's still testing. So what are you still testing? So what are you still testing when you've told us that? So I want to believe that with this budget, now let's talk about education. This budget actually gave more to education compared to before, and even to security. But someone actually mentioned something, that instead of we putting more into security, can't we negotiate with the terrorists? I told the person vertically on show that if you are a terrorist, we are going to crush you. We are not negotiating. We are not going to negotiate. And I think if I have the opportunity of being the president, I think that would be the first thing. So let anybody telling us to negotiate with the bandit, with the terrorists, should be arrested. Okay, tell us why. Give us reasons, and those reasons then you must be able to defend them.
I actually love to ask you why we shouldn't negotiate with terrorists. However, we need to ask other questions because maybe you add it concurrently with the other things I'm going to ask now. The president has also directed that monthly performance reports should be made available. You know, one issue we always have is that of accountability.
Accountability, yes.
So, and now the president is directing that MDAs should ensure that
the report.
The reports.
I want to commend him. I said it. Listen,
but then I also want to add that hope is not just talking, and then we are going to be seeing the working, because over time we've always advocated for accountability, but nothing much has been done.
Something is happening in my region, Ibarapa Central, Ibarapa North, Federal Constituency, where we have Honorable Anthony. Other Ibarapa, we have honorable representing them too. We have, and even in Ibarapa Central, Ibarapa North,
we have to go in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes, please. We have Senate, we have House of Assemblies and commissioners. But the only person that has been given, that has been accounting for what he is doing is this honorable Dr. Anthony. So if President Tinubu could actually be giving account of what you are doing every month. Even if at all there's going to be lapses, we know very sure that you cannot account for what we did not see. That is just a fact. So if they could actually be giving this account every blessed month, then we know very sure that there's going to be improvement. Even if at all they want to lie, their lies will be minimal. Will be this.
Indeed.
I think it will be. If and only president is not going to be pampering them and pardoning them.
That's what we're actually hoping that does not get to play out.
That's it. And he actually made a promise that any non-performance ministers will go. So let's see if it will actually happen.
Indeed. Let's see what happens next. Thank you, Dr. Olamide.
Thank
Samuel.
you very much.
So many names.
Ogunleke Samuel, Dr. Olamide.
Yeah, it's been a very beautiful session with you.